Well, hello everyone. Lisa here. Welcome to What's Crafting Wednesday. I hope everyone had a great week. I hope no one had any trouble with all the rain yesterday and today. It was just a little downpour again not too long ago, but it has once again stopped. All right, we are going to jump into our drawing first of these two cards from last week. In case you missed it, there's a nice embossed background on here, and I embossed the flap of the envelope. And definitely the orange on black matting was the favorite over the black on the pumpkin pie matting. Okay, I have my tickets here, so I'm going to get my names in here for the drawing. Extra mixing after my shaking. And let me see, do I have one ticket? Okay, and I have the winning ticket, and the lucky winner is Jennifer. Well, congratulations, Jennifer. I have these sweet Halloween cards for you. Okay, everyone, tonight we are going to be making a treat holder. And we're going to have a little sneak peek of an upcoming stamp set. So let's get started. It's actually a double treat holder, because why make a single when you can make a double? So I just did the same thing on both sides. But this easily could be made as just a single treat holder. So let's get started. I have basic black cardstock, and this here is cut at 3 by 6, and we're going to score it at 3, and we will then after fold this in half, and that will create the backing for both sides of the treat holders. I'm just going to put that off to the side, and I have pre-cut 2 pieces of black cardstock to make the boxes for the treats. And this is with the Perfect packaging. I never remember the name of it. You'd think I would since I use it all the time. From the Playful Packaging Dies. I have to tell you, when this came out, I was on the fence about it. But I did get the bundle. I don't think I've used the stamp set yet. I'm not 100% certain. But these dies I have used over and over and over. So many possibilities with these, as you see from all the times I've been using them. And I also use the Oh My Fright dies for the little ghost. That was the only thing I used from this set. And we will also be using the triple label punch tonight. And I have a sneak peek sentiment stamp set to show you. This will be coming out in the upcoming September through December catalog. And it's called Soiree Salutations. It covers Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, up to Valentine's Day. So this is a must-have for your craft room. There are there are 4 Halloween stamps in here. There is the one, there's 2 that can be used for Thanksgiving. Actually, even 3, you could use the thanks as well. There is Cheers to the New Year and Clink Clink. So that's 2 there. We have Hugs and Kisses and Happy Valentine's Day. And then for Christmas, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stamps. So remember this, Soiree Salutations. You will definitely need to have this at the top of your wish list. Okay, so let's get started. I have pre-cut these 2 pieces, and we're going to do a little scoring and snipping like we did for the card 2 weeks ago when I made the little box for the front of the card. So it's already scored on the bottom, but we're going to add another score in there and 2 scores on the sides. So I'm going to put it in here so that this little groove there lines up with the cutting track. And then I'm going to move it over. So this kind of like, I guess you could say, kind of looks like a picket fence piece there. So that is centered right there in the groove, and then score that again. And I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. So get that groove there in the cutting track. And then just move it over so we're centered here. And then we're just going to kind of eye this. And we can sort of center it as well. With the pre-existing score, we're just going to add another score next to it. So that will kind of like cut this in half there for when we fold it. And then we will do that with the same thing with this one here. So just you can see the groove there is in the cutting track. And we're going to move it over so at the top of that picket fence is centered in the cutting area. And then flip it around, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And then on the bottom here, I'm going to add that extra score. Okay. So now we're just going to do a little snipping. I'm going to cut this out kind of like steps. I'm going to cut across there, and then I'm going to cut down and over and up there. So this is so that we can assemble the little boxes for the treats. I don't know about you, but I always have so much trouble working with the basic black, or it's any of the darker shades, but especially the black. And then we're just going to cut in here and make a tab. And make the tab, and then we'll do the same thing with this side. I'm going to cut so it's kind of like steps. See, it kind of looks like steps. In case you were wondering what I was talking about by steps, that is what I meant. And then we're just going to go ahead and cut along here to make that tab. And then we're going to cut there for that tab. And now we are going to fold on all of our score lines. And then the same thing, of course, with this side here. So tell me again, has anyone started their Halloween crafting yet? Let me know in the comments. Now we're just going to put a little bit of glue on these 2 tabs here. And just want to get it to adhere. And I seem to have a little extra glue coming out here as Carol laughs at me. I love the liquid glue, but when you're trying to adhere a box or It's a 3D project. You do have to give it that extra time to set. Okay, then we're going to fold that, and we're going to fold that. We're just going to put a little piece of tear and tape on each side to hold that together. And then when we actually assemble this, we will be using the liquid glue. So I'm just going to put a little piece there. It's just going to hold that down good. And the same thing there. And now we'll do the other box. So once these little boxes are done, this is just a breeze to put together. We'll just get that little tab to hold on there, and this little tab to hold on there. So I can't wait to read your comments and see if anyone has started their Halloween crafting. To be honest, I haven't done any yet aside from what I've been doing during Facebook Live. So I have to get a little busy also. Oh, I forgot the little bit of glue here too for the flaps there as well. Not that it's really necessary because we are putting the tear and tape on, but it just helps to hold it in place. And as you can see, the glue coming out, I got a little over enthusiastic with it. I thought I had a piece of paper towel here, but I guess I do not. So I'll just use my scrap paper. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fold this here in half. And then I am going to glue it together. I mean, you could do a single-sided, but by doubling it, it makes it much sturdier. And then we're going to run it through and die cut a handle, which I did not leave the die out for. So the die is in the Playful Packaging set, and I use this here. It's actually for die cutting sentiments, but it was perfect for making the handle. So let me just bring my little machine over here. And I'm just going to eye this. No need to measure it or anything, just eye it. And put the top plate on. And then run it through. And then we actually could save this piece. You could always use it for backing on a sentiment for another project. You know the crafting motto, waste not, want not. Okay, and then I have some DSP cut just to adorn the front a little. This here is from the Frightfully Fun DSP pack. sold individually, and it comes as part of the Oh My Fright suite. And this is cut at 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. I probably could have went 1 3/8 with it, because I first did 1 1/2, and it was too high. So I probably could have went 1 3/8, but 1 1/4 is fine. And I'm just going to make sure that it adhered well. And now we are going to pull this little strip of tear and tape backing off. And we're going to use Tombow to adhere this together. And try not to use too much because I don't want it to overflow. And then we're just going to match this up. I just have to hold it a little closer so I can see, since it is black on black. And that is not so good for these old eyes here. As you can see, I was trying to move it because I wasn't over far enough. Okay. Got that one in place. And now we're going to do the same thing with the flip side. The real purpose of this tear and tape here is just to make sure the box stays adhered on the corners. And I am just putting a little bit of Tombow over it, just because hopefully that will be able to give me a little wiggle room if I don't get it on straight the first try. That's why Tombow is so practical, so we get that wiggle room that we do not get with the tear and tape. Okay, looks pretty straight. And there we have our box, double-sided. And again, if you only want to do a single treat, just put a box on one side. You don't need to have one on both sides, just a single treat. And now we're going to do our embellishing. So I have pre-cut the ghosts already. And this week they're going to have pink eyes. Why are they having pink eyes, you may ask? Not because they're ill, because I had gotten the dark chocolate raspberry Ghirardellis. So since the wrapper is pink, these little cuties are going to have pink eyes this week. You can use pink for Halloween. Of course you can use pink for Halloween. We even had pink Halloween DSP one year. Oh, and I think he's super cute with his pink eyes. It does make it sound like he has pink eye. And we're going to sponge him a little bit too. Oh, how cute. The pink eyes might be my favorite so far. Just in keeping with the chocolate wrappers, I used Melon Mambo ink, And I'm just going to sponge a little bit around him. If you didn't want to sponge, that's perfectly fine. He still shows up nicely on there. But I was just trying to bring in the pink from the chocolate. What I did was I got a little bit of pink around them, and then just on the edges, I did go over it with black. So you still see the pink, but I'm just adding some black as well. But again, if you didn't want to sponge, perfectly okay. Sometimes the sponging is a necessity because it helps your embellishment to stand out more, but these being basic white stand out fine against the DSP. And then we have our sentiment to do, which is from the new upcoming Soiree Salutation stamp set. So I'll just need to stamp this twice. Look at that. It's straight this week. And I decided to stamp it with the, so we say point going that way, so it's pointing up toward the ghost. And then I will be sponging these a little bit also. Just adds to the fun of it. So I'll go around the pink first. And there seems to be enough ink still on here. And then I'll take the dauber with the black on it. I think these little things you're seeing here from my sponge. Pink one was in a sad condition when I took it out. It was well loved, so I actually am going to retire that one tonight. And now we're just going to add these with dimensionals. And I will be using the full-size dimensionals. And 2 on the ghost. I guess I could have used the mini or 2 minis on it. In fact, let me try that on this one, see how that is. I can get it down a little further if I do that. Yes, that is a good idea. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut some strips here. And cut a strip here. And what I did to make sure there was enough space, I just placed that first, and then I added the ghost. Because you don't want to put the ghost down and find out you don't have enough room for your sentiment. Okay, I admit that happened to me with my sample. I had put the ghost down, it was over too far, and then I had to very, very carefully lift him so I could add the sentiment. Yeah, I can admit when I do something, something silly. company. And now we will wrap our chocolates. This is cut at 1 3/4 by 4 1/2. I'm not going to score it. I'm just going to wrap it right around the chocolates. I mean, you could score, really no need to. A little tear and tape on the top and the bottom. Oh, almost put that on the wrong side. Now, since this is directional, just make sure you have it going in the right direction with the front of your chocolate. So I just pull it around, and then this one here just went around, made it snug. And then we'll do the same with this one. And again, make sure it's in the right direction. And pull it nice and snug and make sure that it lines up. And then you just put them right in your treat holder. And now we're just going to tie a little piece of ribbon. This also comes in the suite or individually. And it is just, I guess it's just called iridescent ribbon. So I'm going to cut a piece about 6 inches. And we're going to tie it once, and then we're going to tie it again to make a knot. And as you tie this, just try and get it so that your nice iridescent side is showing. There. And then we're just going to trim the tails. And trim that tail. And that, my crafty friends, is this week's project. So I do hope you liked it, and it does stand as well. Okay, are you ready for some other sneak peeks? I was going to show you everything that I got in my pre-order, but I just pulled out some embellishments to show you, which I'm super excited about. We have snowflake embellishments. They are in 2 sizes, clear and Secret Sea, I think. Look at Secret Sea. And then, oh, look at these darling epoxy embellishments. Look at that. Presents, ornaments, candy canes. And then we have holly embellishments with the berries. And you know, if I got a pre-order already, I got catalogs. Yes, I do. You know, I can't show you the inside, but I can show you the cover. Look at this cute Advent calendar countdown. So, so cute. Let me know if you're interested in a class on it. We can make this. Okay, my crafty friends, if you have ordered from me in the last 6 months, you will be getting a catalog very shortly. If you haven't ordered, you'd like a catalog, just let me know and I'll make sure you get one. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I do hope you enjoyed tonight's little treat holder. Leave me some love. Let me know what you think of it. And don't forget to let me know if you started your Halloween crafting yet. And just say hi. Just leave me a comment so I know you were here. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful and crafty week. I'll see you back here next Wednesday. And don't know yet what we'll be doing, but hopefully whatever I come up with, you will enjoy. Okay, everyone, don't forget to get inky, See you next week. Bye.